Welcome back to episode 7. And so far in the game, we have built 3 classes: a game class, a background class, and a bird class. So the next object that we're going to build for our game, and we need a class for this as well, is a pipe. Okay, and a pipe consists of, let me just show you. It consists of all of these components together on the screen. So I'm considering the entire picture to be a pipe. So the complicated bit really with this class is going to be just working out where to place each of our components. So we'll talk through that, and that's what we mean by the components of a pipe. And then drawing that will require using some magic values and just working out where to put those on the XY axis. And then finally, we're going to also show how we can set the width of the pipe, or the opening of the pipe, to be a random place each time. Okay, so now we're going to look at the code. So here we have it. Underneath our bird class, we've got another class here called pipe. So again, it's exactly the same structure as before, and hopefully you're getting a feel now for how in programming all of your concepts and objects are just really classes, and it's just a matter of dividing the whole thing up into a set of classes. So for the rest of this game, we're also going to have maybe about 3 or 4 more classes, and that's really for the scoring, for the keeping the record and all that stuff. So it's actually quite simple. Okay. So the pipe class is initialized here, but let's go through the magic numbers first. So we've got a pipe body width, a head width, a head height, and an opening height, and a head height. Okay, so those 5 magic numbers are kind of the key components for each pipe. So if we look at our previous diagram, the pipe opening height is this distance here between the top of the bottom of the top part of the pipe and the top of the bottom part of the pipe. Okay, and we're going to refer to these 2 points on the y-axis, okay, as y top and y bottom, and you'll see that in our code. We have y top and y bottom, and we're setting y top here in this case to be 200, and y bottom will be y top plus the pipe opening height, which is this plus this. So that makes sense that will give you this value, because we're going from the 0 down to that value. Okay, and then the other components are pretty straightforward. We've got a head height, pipe head height, which is here and here, and then we've got a well, this is not a magic number, it's the body height, but that would be calculated based on y top and the head height. So it'll be y top minus the head height, which will give you this much. And this one down here then requires a slightly different sum. It'll probably be game height minus y bottom plus head height or something like that. So we'll see it when we look in the code. But really, it's the whole complication of drawing a pipe is working out where each bit of the pipe needs to be drawn. Apart from that, it's fairly simple. The other magic numbers refer to the widths of the head of the pipe and the width of the body of the pipe. And that's it, really. So there are the magic numbers we're going to use. And another variable that we're going to use in the pipe is its center point. Okay, so its center point will be pretty much a line going straight down through the pipe like this. And we're going to actually set that center point from a value that we're going to pass into the initialization function. So you haven't seen this before, but when we create a pipe, we can actually pass through a value called pos, and that will be where the center point starts from. So actually, when we go down to our game and we create a pipe, so this is our pipe instance, we're going to pass in the value 300. Remember that our game width is 384, so that should put the pipe about 3/4 of the way across the screen, and that's going to set the center point to that. And the rest of this then is just drawing those different components, like I said before. So it's probably not worth going through each one. You can figure that out yourselves, but suffice to say, it's all fairly simple. So if I run this, there we have the center of the pipe is at around 300 pixels, and we've got a pipe opening that starts at y top, which we're setting to be here, and the opening is 128, so y bottom will be 328 because it'll be y top plus y bottom, and that will give you an opening that starts here and ends here, and then all of the rest of the components are based around those values. Okay. So one last thing before we finish this video is when we create pipes, we don't want to set the position always to be 200. So we're going to use a mathematical function which randomizes the position. I'm going to just type it in here, okay? So we're using this random rand range method, okay? And we're importing a module called random to be able to call this. And I'm not going to talk through this either. It takes some parameters which allows you to set the position. So again, you can work this out yourself. But now when we run this program, the position will be different each time. So that looks similar to before. That's slightly different. It's slightly different. It's up at the top now. So now we've got this random opening happening, and that's really what's happening when we set y top there. In the next, one final thing actually before we finish, we've set a ground speed here of 3, okay? So really with these pipes, we actually want them to move. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to quickly define a new method in here called update position, and we're going to set the x position, center x in this case, to be itself minus. Okay, so this minus equals to is short for it's shorthand for something else, which I'll write the longhand version. So it's equal to center x minus ground speed. Okay, and that will when we call this, it will change the center by the ground speed, and we're going to do this every time we draw the pipe. So let's call that from here. And now when we run it, we'll see the pipe moving. And there you have it. So we still have our flapping happening. So you can see that we suddenly have a moving pipe that pretty much forms the main components of the game. So in the next episode, we'll see how we can create multiple pipes.